What if everything he believed about himself was a lie? In 1990, Total Recall pulled audiences into a world where memory, identity, and reality could no longer be trusted. Arnold Schwarzenegger led the way, but the film's real power came from a cast full of dangerous allies, unforgettable villains, and faces that kept viewers guessing until the end. Decades later, some became icons, some stepped away from the spotlight, and some are sadly gone. This is Total Recall, then and now. Douglas Quaid was the man who woke up inside his own life and discovered that even his memories might have been built to control him. Played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, born on July 30th, 1947, he was 42 when Total Recall opened in 1990. Quaid worked because he was not just another action hero running through explosions. He was a man caught between two terrifying possibilities. Either he was uncovering the truth about Mars, or he was trapped inside a fantasy designed to feel real. Schwarzenegger gave the role his familiar physical force, but also a sense of confusion and paranoia that made Quaid more vulnerable than his muscles suggested. Every chase, fight, and betrayal carried the same question: who is he really, and what part of his life can still be trusted? Beyond Total Recall, Schwarzenegger became one of the defining action stars of modern cinema through The Terminator, Predator, True Lies, Kindergarten Cop, and many other films, later entering politics as Governor of California. In 2026, Schwarzenegger turns 79. Douglas Quaid endures because Schwarzenegger made strength uncertain, memory dangerous, and one man's search for truth explosive enough to shake an entire planet. Melina was the woman from Quaid's dreams who turned out to be stronger, sharper, and more real than he first understood. Played by Rachel Ticotin, born on November 1st, 1958, she was 31 when Total Recall opened in 1990. Melina worked because she was never just the romantic figure waiting inside Quaid's fantasy. She belonged to Mars before he knew who he was, and that gave her a history, a purpose, and a fierce moral weight. She understood Cohagen's control, the suffering of the people below the surface, and the danger of trusting a man whose identity had been rewritten. Ticotin gave Melina toughness without losing warmth, making her feel like both a fighter and a woman carrying real emotional scars. Her presence grounded the film's wild science fiction chaos in something human: resistance, loyalty, and the need to fight for a world that powerful men had tried to suffocate. Beyond Total Recall, Rachel Ticotin built a strong career across film and television, including Fort Apache, The Bronx, Falling Down, Con Air, Man on Fire, and Law and Order, LA. In 2026, Ticotin turns 68. Melina endures because Ticotin made rebellion feel wounded, sensual, and fiercely alive. Cohagen is the man who controls the air itself, a villain so cold that Mars becomes less a planet than a prison under his hand. Played by Ronny Cox, born on July 23, 1938. He was 51 when Total Recall opened in 1990. Cohagen worked because he was not loud or monstrous in the obvious way. His danger came from calm authority, from the polished certainty of a man who believed power gave him the right to decide who could breathe, who could live, and who could be erased. Cox gave him a smooth, controlled menace that made the character feel disturbingly believable. In a film full of mutants, fake memories, chases, and explosions, Cohagen keeps the conflict brutally simple. Mars is suffering because one man has turned survival into a business. Beyond Total Recall, Ronny Cox built a long career across film, television, and music, with memorable roles in Deliverance, RoboCop, Beverly Hills Cop, and many other projects where he could play warmth or corruption with equal skill. In 2026, Cox turns 88. Cohagen endures because Ronny Cox made tyranny civilized, reasonable, and terrifyingly comfortable behind a smile. Richter is the brutal force chasing Quaid through Total Recall, a man whose anger makes every pursuit feel personal. Played by Michael Ironside, born on February 12, 1950, He was 40 when the film opened in 1990. Richter worked because he was not simply a henchman carrying out orders. He seemed personally offended by Quaid's survival, driven by jealousy, rage, and the need to prove that nothing could escape Cohagen's system. Ironside gave him a hard, physical intensity, using his voice, stare, and controlled fury to make Richter one of the film's most memorable threats. In a story where reality keeps shifting, Richter's hatred feels frighteningly real. He turns the chase into something emotional, as if Quaid is not only running from a corporation, but from one man's need to destroy him. Beyond Total Recall, Michael Ironside became known for powerful roles in Scanners, Top Gun, Starship Troopers, V, Highlander 2, and voice work including Splinter Cell. In 2026, Ironside turns 76. Richter endures because Michael Ironside made Pursuit vicious, personal, and impossible to forget. George is the quiet mutant whose body hides one of Total Recall's strangest and most unforgettable secrets. Played by Marshall Bell, born on September 28, 1942. He was 47 when the film opened in 1990. George worked because he first appears like another tired citizen of Mars, someone shaped by hardship, mutation, and the cruelty of life under Cohagen's rule. But when the film reveals Kuato, George becomes part of something much larger, the idea that revolution can survive in places the powerful would overlook, dismiss, or fear. Bell brought a weary humanity to the role before the shock of the reveal, helping the moment feel more than just a special effect. His face, body, and stillness became part of the film's mix of body horror, politics, and spiritual mystery. Beyond Total Recall, Marshall Bell built a long career as a distinctive character actor, appearing in Stand By Me, Twins, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Starship Troopers, Capote, and many other films. In 2026, Bell turns 84. George endures because Marshall Bell made Hidden Resistance strange, fragile, and powerful enough to speak from beneath the surface. Benny is the fast-talking cab driver who makes Mars feel loud, crowded, dangerous, and alive, before the film reveals how easily charm can become betrayal. Played by Mel Johnson Jr., born on July 13, 1953, he was 36 when Total Recall opened in 1990. Benny worked because he seems, at first, like exactly the kind of ally Quaid needs. He knows the streets, talks quickly, jokes easily, and moves through chaos like someone who has survived it all before. That is what makes his turn so effective. In a movie built on false memories and shifting identities, Benny proves that trust can be part of the trap. Johnson gave him humor, rhythm, and streetwise confidence, making the betrayal feel sharper because the character had already won part of the audience over. Beyond Total Recall, Mel Johnson Jr. continued working across film, television, theater, and voice performance, with appearances in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and many stage productions. In 2026, Johnson turns 73. Benny endures because Mel Johnson Jr. made betrayal loud, funny, and almost friendly until the smile finally turned against us. Helm is one of Cohagen's hard-faced operatives, a man who helps make Total Recall feel like a futuristic manhunt run by corporate power. Played by Michael Champion, born on November 3, 1946, he was 43 when the film opened in 1990. Helm worked because he expanded the danger around Quaid. He was not the central villain, but he represented the machinery behind Cohagen, the men who follow orders, close exits, track targets, and make the system feel impossible to escape. Champion gave Helm a cold, efficient presence, making him fit perfectly into the movie's world of surveillance, control, and sudden violence. His role helped turn Quaid's confusion into a physical threat, because every time Quaid tried to understand who he was, men like Helm were already moving to stop him. Beyond Total Recall, Michael Champion worked in film, television, music, and tough guy character roles, with appearances in projects such as Beverly Hills Cop and Diagnosis: Murder. He passed away in 2021 at the age of 74. Helm endures because Michael Champion made a supporting enforcer sharp, controlled, and fully loyal to a nightmare built by power. Dr. Edgemar is the calm voice that makes Total Recall terrifying without needing a weapon, because for one brilliant scene he makes Quaid, and the audience, question everything. Played by Roy Brocksmith, born on September 15, 1945, he was 44 when the film opened in 1990. Edgemar worked because he arrives not as a soldier, but as a reasonable professional offering an explanation that sounds almost too logical to ignore. He tells Quaid that Mars, Melina, the danger, and the rebellion may all be part of a fantasy collapsing inside his mind. For a moment, the entire movie tilts. Is Quaid living the truth, or is he trapped inside a purchased illusion? Brocksmith gave the scene soft-spoken menace, using politeness and precision to make doubt feel more frightening than violence. Beyond Total Recall, Roy Brocksmith appeared in Arachnophobia, Tango and Cash, Star Trek, The Next Generation, Picket Fences, and many other projects where his unusual warmth could become comic, strange, or sinister. He passed away in 2001 at the age of 56. Dr. Edgemar endures because Brocksmith made uncertainty clinical, polite, and deeply unsettling. McClane is one of the grounded resistance figures inside Total Recall's storm of false memories, violence, and Martian rebellion. Played by Ray Baker, born on May 2, 1948, he was 42 when the film opened in 1990. McClane worked because the resistance needed more than mystery and symbolism. It needed people who made the struggle feel organized, practical, and real. In a movie where almost everyone may be lying, programmed, or hiding another identity, McClane helps suggest that something genuine still exists beneath the spectacle. Baker brought steady authority to the role, giving the futuristic chaos a human shape and reminding the audience that Cohagen's rule is not only a problem for Quaid, but a disaster for an entire community. His presence supports the idea that the rebellion has structure, memory, and purpose beyond one man's personal crisis. Beyond Total Recall, Ray Baker built a long career across film, television, and stage, with work in Rain Man, The Right Stuff, Without a Trace, CSI, and many other projects. In 2026, Baker turns 78. McClane endures because Ray Baker made loyalty practical, serious, and necessary in a world where reality kept slipping away. Laurie is the perfect wife who becomes the perfect nightmare, the woman whose smile hides one of Total Recall's most vicious betrayals. Played by Sharon Stone, born on March 10, 1958, she was 32 when the film opened in 1990. Laurie worked because she begins as Quaid's domestic anchor, the person who seems to represent ordinary life, while his dreams of Mars pull him away from reality. But once the illusion cracks, she transforms into something far more dangerous, an agent, a liar, and a fighter who can move from tenderness to murder almost instantly. Stone gave the role beauty, athletic force, and icy control, making Laurie both seductive and terrifying. Her fight scenes with Schwarzenegger and Rachel Ticotin added a sharp physical edge to the film, while her double life strengthened the central fear that nothing around Quaid can be trusted. Total Recall became an important step towards Stone's breakout years, followed by major roles in Basic Instinct, Casino, Sliver, and The Specialist. In 2026, Stone turns 68. Laurie endures because Sharon Stone made deception glamorous, physical, and terrifyingly intimate. Dr. Lull is the scientist who helps open the door to Quaid's artificial dream, standing near the beginning of the film's most dangerous idea, that memory itself can be designed, sold, and weaponized. Played by Rosemary Dunsmore, born on July 13, 1953, she was 36 when Total Recall opened in 1990. Dr. Lull worked because her calm professionalism makes the nightmare more believable. She is part of a system that treats fantasy like a product and identity like a procedure, turning a man's longing into something that can be installed, manipulated, and possibly used against him. Dunsmore gave the role intelligence and control, making the character feel composed even as the story begins to fracture. Her presence reminds us that Total Recall is not only about Mars and guns, it is about the terrifying business of entering the human mind. Beyond the film, Rosemary Dunsmore built a respected career across Canadian and American television, film, theater, and directing, with credits including Anne of Green Gables, Orphan Black, The Handmaid's Tale, and Murdoch Mysteries. In 2026, Dunsmore turns 73. Dr. Lull endures because Rosemary Dunsmore made science feel quiet, precise, and dangerous in the service of illusion. Ernie is one of the smaller faces in Total Recall's restless world, but he helps make the future feel busy, strange, and lived in. Played by David Nell, born on September 8, 1961, he was 28 when the film opened in 1990. Ernie worked because Total Recall depends on more than its central heroes and villains. The film is packed with side characters who seem to be hustling, hiding, working, selling, surviving, or simply trying not to get crushed by the machinery around them. Ernie adds to that atmosphere, bringing a quick, lightly comic presence to a story already crowded with mutants, spies, rebels, and false identities. Nell's energy helped the role feel like part of the strange everyday life orbiting Quaid's fractured reality. In a movie where even brief moments can turn weird or dangerous, characters like Ernie give the world texture. Beyond Total Recall, David Nell appeared in film, television, and stage projects, including Splash, Turner and Hooch, That Thing You Do, and other roles where his youthful comic timing made him recognizable. In 2026, Nell turns 65. Ernie endures because David Nell made a brief role alert, funny, and fully part of Mars's strange rhythm. Tiffany is one of the bold Mars-side personalities who helps Total Recall turn its future world into something rough, colorful, and alive with attitude. Played by Alexia Robinson, born on January 1, 1960, she was 30 when the film opened in 1990. Tiffany worked because Mars needed to feel like more than a set of tunnels, rebels, mutants, and machines. It needed people with voices, tempers, humor, and personality. People living under pressure, but still refusing to become invisible. Robinson gave Tiffany a confident spark, helping the colony feel populated by individuals rather than background symbols. In a film obsessed with control, bodies, memory, and rebellion, characters like Tiffany remind us that the oppressed world beneath Cohagen's rule is still full of life. Her presence adds brightness and toughness to the film's crowded sci-fi landscape, making the Mars community feel more human. Beyond Total Recall, Alexia Robinson continued acting in television and film, with work connected to The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, The Nutty Professor, and other projects. In 2026, Robinson turns 66. Tiffany endures because Alexia Robinson made attitude bright, tough, and unmistakably human inside a world built on survival. Thumbelina is the rebel who proves that resistance in Total Recall is not measured by size, but by fury, loyalty, and the will to fight back. Played by Debbie Lee Carrington, born on December 14, 1959, she was 30 when the film opened in 1990. Thumbelina worked because she was part of the mutant community that gave the film its emotional and political force. Mars was not only a place of spectacle, it was a world of people changed, neglected, and exploited by those in power. Carrington brought spark, courage, and physical confidence to the role, making Thumbelina impossible to treat as background detail. She stood as part of a resistance fighting not only for air, but for dignity. Her presence helped make the rebels feel diverse, angry, and alive, a community refusing to disappear beneath Cohagen's control. Beyond Total Recall, Debbie Lee Carrington had a trailblazing career as an actress and stunt performer with dwarfism, appearing in Return of the Jedi, Howard the Duck, Men in Black, Seinfeld, and many other projects. She passed away in 2018 at the age of 58 after health complications. Thumbelina endures because Carrington made defiance compact, blazing, and far larger than the world, that tried to underestimate her. Tony is one of Total Recall's gritty side figures, a smaller role that gains extra fascination because of the actor Dean Norris would later become. Born on April 8, 1963, Norris was 27 when the film opened in 1990. Tony worked because even in a brief appearance, Norris brings the kind of firm physical presence that fits naturally inside the film's dangerous future. Total Recall is filled with faces that seem to belong to hard rooms and suspicious corners, and Tony feels like part of that world immediately. The role does not need much screen time to add another layer of toughness to the film's atmosphere. What makes it especially interesting now is watching an early glimpse of the grounded intensity Norris would later bring to much larger roles. After Total Recall, he became widely known as Hank Schrader in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, turning a lawman into a character full of humor, pride, fear, and courage. He also appeared in Under the Dome, The X-Files, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Little Miss Sunshine, and many other projects. In 2026, Norris turns 63. Tony endures because Dean Norris made even a brief role feel solid, watchful, and built for danger. The question at the heart of Total Recall still refuses to fade. Was Quaid chasing the truth, or living inside the perfect illusion? Decades later, the faces behind that mystery have changed. Some became screen legends, some moved into quieter lives, and some have sadly taken their final bow. But their performances still pull us back to Mars, memory, and one of sci-fi cinema's most unforgettable nightmares. Which Total Recall character stayed with you the most? Comment below, like, subscribe, and join us again on Hollywood 1960s.